Welcome. It's me again, Joel Moskowitz, the Executive Director of the America-Israel Cannabis Association. Our next guest is Jonathan Gilinski. Mr. Gilinski is the founder and CEO of Capsule Consulting Group. Over 10 years ago, Mr. Gilinski founded Capsule, which provides capsule products worldwide. As medical cannabis evolves towards dosage-based distribution, Mr. Gilinski is at the forefront of it, and we are very happy to have Mr. Gilinski here with us today. As a capsule manufacturer, how and why did you enter the cannabis space?
Well, Joel, first of all, thank you for having me and for giving us the opportunity to introduce the Capsule Consulting Group and myself. It's a very funny story. Again, I've been involved with the manufacturing of capsules for 35 years. And about 6 years ago, when the cannabis industry started gaining momentum, I was approached by industry leaders asking for me to enter this space because there was a clear need for a go-to source of premium capsules. So we took it to ourselves and created what we have today, which is a Capsule Consulting Group, which caters specifically to the cannabis industry.
So, what's so special about the capsule, and why is it such a great fit for the cannabis industry, and how is it a great fit? I mean, how do you convert it?
Well, it's important to always know the source of your capsules. Our capsules are lab certified, produced in CGMP facilities, approved by the FDA, and they run a strict quality assurance process that pretty much reassures our customers that they're receiving top quality products.
Really? Okay. So, tell us some of the challenges you face today. Creating cannabis capsules.
I think the main challenge that we're encountering today, and I wouldn't so much phrase it as cannabis capsules, but it's the ability to be able for a manufacturer, producer, or dispensary to accurately dose products, be able to measure exactly what they're going to be consuming and intaking. So I think by educating the consumer, the user, and the manufacturer, producer of on cannabis and on cannabis capsules and the use of capsules, they'll be able to better grasp what needs to be in place for you to have a product that can actually predict what will happen when you intake it.
So, is the encapsulation of cannabis a game changer in the industry? Because
the capsules themselves have been around. They date back to the Egyptian times. It's a game changer because if we look at it the same way we look at the pharmaceutical industry has been using capsules for 60 years. And by this means they've been able to cure thousands of ailments, control disease, and prevent, and actually have preventive medicine. I see this same pattern with the cannabis industry. The cannabis industry, under my views, or the way I envision it, should be taking the same steps as the pharmaceutical industry. And what better way to do it than with a delivery dosage or a delivery form that's already in place, like the capsules.
Is it difficult to encapsulate the cannabis versus other kinds of drugs?
There's a science behind encapsulating any form of product. There needs to be some sort of knowledge, and there is intricacies in the operating of machinery, and you do need some sort of knowledge to operate and understand how to fill and what to fill. But it's not rocket science. With training, basic training, understanding of your raw materials and what you're actually encapsulating, it should not be a hard task. Again, the dietary supplement industry in the U.S., huge industry, billion-dollar industry. These guys encapsulate anything from maca to turmeric to ginseng. So why wouldn't we be able to do the same for the cannabis space?
Right. Are there different types of capsules? I know they come in different colors and some are clear, but are there different types
Yes,
of capsules?
there's tons of different capsules. Again, there's 8, 9 different sizes. You have the largest size, the 000, ranging down to size 4 or 5. Fives are tiny millimeter capsules, mainly used for clinical trials on lab rats. But in terms of the main differences and the most popular type of capsule that are out there right now are the gelatin capsules made out of bovine hide, and then you have the cellulose or HPMC capsules, which are fully vegetarian, made out of cellulose. All these capsules can be custom made into different, obviously sizes, colors, and as well as printing on them. And we also Capsule invented back in '06 the use of flavor in the manufacturing process of capsules. So we offer flavored capsules as well, and we also have enteric coated capsules. These capsules pretty much bypass the stomach and reach the intestine. This allows for a prolonged release. And I'm currently here now developing a specific capsule, which I like to call the LQ capsule, the liquid capsule, that we're working on specifically to assist the encapsulation of oils for the cannabis industry. In particular, CBD oils, THC, or high concentrates. Because if the capsule cannot hold it, then there's no need for it.
Right. I'm quite fascinated by something you just said. You said you make flavored capsules. I thought it's you swallow capsules.
You do swallow capsules, but keep in mind that there's also other senses that we have. So we have the scent, which is an appealing factor to it, and the key component of it, even when you put it in your mouth, you feel the taste, but it's the digestion. Once you digest it, you have the so-called, or what I call the burp-up effect. That means it comes back and you recall what you took. So in most cases, one of our customers encapsulates vitamin C, for example. They put vitamin C in our O capsule or orange-flavored capsules. So the consumer, at the end of the day, will remember that he took, or will recognize that he took and associate the orange-flavored capsule with the vitamin C.
That's actually quite interesting. I know that certain pills have that sometimes, like a coating.
A coating, but this is actually within the manufacturing of the capsule. Now we can get into my other crazy invention, which I love, that I call the pet caps, which is flavored capsules for pets, and I've had a huge success in the development of chicken flavored size 3 capsule for cats. I was told by a large number of vets in the country that cats are impossible to medicate. And lo and behold, the size 3 chicken flavored has become one of our top sellers.
Oh, that's interesting because I have a dog. It's a problem with me too. I noticed that your website is www.cannabiscapsules.com. You seem to be in the same school of thought that I am, which is that the preferred name for the drug in question or the plant in question is cannabis and not marijuana, which I believe has a negative connotation.
Yeah, the thing is that the stigma behind. I was advised by, I think, an industry pioneer. He's an industry pioneer. He said, "Listen, we don't like to use." When I went to visit him, he told me, "We don't like to use marijuana. Marijuana has a stigma, it has negative connotation to it. We like to use cannabis." And that was, I guess, 6, 7 years ago. And as soon as I heard that, I said, "Listen, I have to own cannabis capsules. I don't want to own marijuana capsules."
Right.
Which I think I do anyways, but I don't market it.
Oh, okay. Okay. And if the concept of smoking medicine is over,
It's not under my. See, there's the industry has different trends, and the same way that you still go to a bar to enjoy a drink. I believe you'll still want to light up and smoke a joint, but under my vision and the idea that I have to advance the medical cannabis side, I think that the capsule consumption or the edible or other forms of delivery are going to actually increase in demand. But that does not mean that smoking is over. Smoking will always be there, and I think it draws in a specific market that wants to smoke.
Well, okay. So I was asking purely from the medical cannabis point of view. In other words,
Right.
most states that are going to legalize are going to do it via the medical route, I believe, initially. And in that case, like in New York just recently.
Right, right. I was going to say New York. New York. Look at New York is the best example. I just wrote a great piece on my LinkedIn profile about New York. New York is not allowing the use of smoke, but they're allowing tinctures and actually what else? Capsules.
All right.
Keep in mind that we have the secondhand smoke and the smoke going into the lungs, and anything combustible is not necessarily good for you. So why not eliminate the negative component of that and keep it simple, keep it clean, and keep it accurate in a capsule form? It just makes sense.
All right. So you're in the industry. You're in it related to the pharmaceutical. You're in the pharmaceutical industry. Um,
Yes.
in your view, is medical cannabis a miracle drug? Is this something that has multiple uses for multiple things in your studies and in the things you've seen? Is this going to really take off the way most people in the industry feel it is right now?
It's a great question. I think this is a game changer. I was hesitant to enter the space because of it being associated with Schedule One drug and whatnot. But after seeing the studies and the results of the studies and the long way that we still have to go in finding cures for things like cancer, epilepsy. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. This is a complete game changer. This is actually parallel, or could go parallel, or could go as big if done correctly, if done properly, if done with the right intentions. Could go as far as the pharmaceutical industry again. But we have a responsibility to govern ourselves accordingly and make sure that it's done that way. And if we already have an industry that we can somewhat refer to, then we're already there. We just have to keep in mind that it needs to be done. It needs to be done accurately and with profession.
We have a very limited time. I do have one last question. So we have a number of speakers, and we spoke to Moshe Feiglin, who used to be the deputy speaker of the Israeli Knesset, the Israeli parliament. He's a right-wing politician, yet a huge proponent for medical marijuana. And one of his theories is that God owns the patent on this plant, and we should keep big pharma out of it. What's your take on that?
I would agree with him in part. I would agree in him in part simply because there are people and companies in the industry that have an intention to cure, and their goal is to make good as opposed to make money.
Right.
But I also believe in the patent system, in the intellectual property system, and should there be a company that's able to develop a product after extensive R&D, we should be able to, or not be able, but allow them to be compensated for those efforts and for that investment if they can somehow take it to the next level.
I did say it was the last question, but I erred. So speaking of patents, it's a follow-up question. Do you have a particular patent on medical cannabis capsules?
Joel, after so many years dealing with patents and intellectual property and being a creative guy, innovative guy, I've found that patenting is sometimes the wrong way to go about it, because when you do patent, you disclose your know-how.
Uh-huh.
And if anybody out there sits down and changes a component of that know-how, they can undo your patent. So it's better for me to keep my knowledge in-house rather than exposing it to the general public. It's going to be harder for them to copy me if I don't disclose a patent.
You see, so you just taught everybody in the audience an important lesson for those that are thinking of getting in. And
listen, if it cannot be re-engineered, and you believe that it's not as simple to mimic, I wouldn't patent. I have a product that I manufacture from the leftovers of the capsules called the gelatin. It's made out of gelatin. It's a golf tee. I never went out and patented. I said, listen, I take this patent out to the public. They'll come, they'll re-engineer my machine, change maybe one or two bolts, and they'll copy me, and it'll be another patent. So I like to keep things to myself.
All right. Well, anyway, thank you very much for your time. Everybody, Jonathan Gilinski, like I said, is the founder and CEO of Capsule Consulting Group. He's a classic example of someone who was in a completely ancillary, completely different business, but through his entrepreneurial mind and ideas has come up with a way to bring the cannabis industry closer to reality as a legal industry. And so I want
Joe,
to
one more thing. I wanted to thank you for what you're doing with AICA. I think it's fascinating. I love the innovation you're bringing to the industry with the virtual conference. Really great job on your behalf as well.
All right, thanks. So we'll
All right.
speak soon. Thanks again.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.